Connect. Love it, XLM. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. Are you ready for post-Fed, post-Jerome, the world of increased interest rates in the far-off future? Guys, we're going to be doing everything. Gold getting absolutely obliterated, unfortunately. Dollar index, beast. Let's talk about the markets very soon, but first the intro. Whew. Jeez. Did you guys see what happened yesterday? Did you see that, Jerome? Welcome, everybody, to the stream. My God, look at this dollar index. The world's biggest hedge is going wild. And that doesn't mean gold. That means dollar index. Dollar index is absolutely on top of the world right now. And it just keeps powering on. This is what happens when participation phase begins. My goodness. I actually thought it would have a bit of a breather. We'd have a bit of a breather session here. But I guess this is the stage of the markets that we're in right now. Effectively, we are in markets that are so fast, that have so many algorithms in them, that you have to reprice like that. And if you're not in early, maybe you won't get in. That's the way I look at it at this stage. You know what, though? There is a really good trade that's going to happen here on the dollar index. And that is, let's say it stops here. Let's say it stops at 92. If it ever does pull back to this zone, coming back through down here, this will be exactly the area where you expect the bulls to regain. So it will eventually slow down. I mean, it can't reprice forever, but that trend's super aggressive. Let's actually have a look at how aggressive this trend is. Can we find a moving average? I tell you what, it hit the 15-minute 20 exponential moving average and bounced off it. Will it come down during this session today? Bounce off it. I'll be looking all over 91.40 now. There's no doubt that's a great zone to be looking at dollar index longs. Once you breach a level like this, especially how it's breaching, usually speaking, when it comes back down, little lightning bolt, boom. That's a very interesting participation phase. I don't feel the FOMO, but I can definitely see why some people would. What else did Jerome do yesterday? Well, of course, he smashed the gold market round. Now, I think as a community, we spotted the fact that gold was weakening pretty well. Unfortunately, I'm sure some people are still holding it. And look, I do sympathize to you guys. This is how fast fear can suddenly run into a market. Now, I still am not bearish as in like long-term bearish on gold. I think it'll be higher than these prices in the future. However, you can see what happens when the bears get control. And this trend line really showed it to us. I hope a few people paid attention to the trend line. You know, all longs were off really once that happened. There's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. We had a beautiful run on the channel. We had a beautiful movement. I think we covered it pretty well. Hopefully you guys were well aware. We saw the equal peaks, no higher peak. We saw that stuff. Then we had the first pull up of support. It did happen. Jerome killed that yesterday. Where'd it go to? The next level, 1810. Bounced minusculely off that level. And now, where is the next zone for gold? Is it where it's just hit all the way through all of this stuff? Is it down here? Oh, it's tough to tell. It's tough to tell. I mean, here's definitely a great level. Like around that 1760 zone, you can see it here. Bang, bang. Previous resistance very close. Then you've got the support again. You know, if it falls, and this is the knife, guys. In the chat, we need the knives out right now. Because you're catching falling knives if you're trying to buy gold at any of these levels. Because as someone said, get the knives out, chat. Get the knives out. So should I stop paying for my groceries with lumber, says Social Suma. Yes. Lumber's worth more. Well, actually, wait a second. The dollar is worth more today. So yes, you've got to get that lumber. You've got to convert it to dollars now. And that's how you do it. I see what you were doing there. I was watching something about, I can't remember what country it was, but they were using the money of the country to make bags and then they were selling it on the street. It's crazy what happens when hyperinflation takes over. That's definitely a big thing. So this is gold. It's an absolute crapper fest right now. Big shorts coming through. If you're in the shorts, look, it could continue on down here. I think your best case scenario is somewhere around the 1764. It eventually has to stop. And we can easily put it into play with fib retracements. You can take the entire move. You can see that it's at the 50% fib. 61.8 sits right around that 1770. Somewhere in this area, you usually will see a big pull up. Let's have a look at the larger time frames to see if we can get any other information here about where gold may find some hideous support. I mean, look at that weekly. Wow. It's a big one. Papa Jerome, he doesn't care about gold. He hates it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that 1770 zone. Over here, support. It's got to be a good area. Anyway, that's the knife. If you're catching it, you can feel the pain. Silver just hit support as well. Go over to the daily here. Previous resistance you can see on silver. Still much hotter than gold. This has not moved anywhere near the raw generalized percentages that you usually see. When gold moves a certain percent, silver is like the crazy Ethereum cousin. Obviously, it goes very hard, and silver is right on that support. Again, do you want to catch this type of thing? I always say you're better off not catching the knife, and if you do, you have to think about how you're going to phase into it. Are you going to catch it with a percentage of your order, then wait for the next percentage if you're investing down here at 25, then put a percentage in, then wait for lightning bolts instead? That's one of the ways that you can do it. But just catching this, it's not really good TA. You usually will get slaughtered doing this over a longer period of time. You've got to wait for that structure to form, the psychology to be met, and then you can start catching the dip. You can start catching the dip. Yeah, the gold barons will not be happy. All the people that said, oh, gold's the best hedge ever. At this point, it's not looking so good after Papa Jerome did this. What else is happening in the markets? We'll go into the squeeze stocks in just a few moments. Thank you to the 723 viewers out there, by the way, right now. Thank you so much, guys. Support's been phenomenal through this week. So, yeah, hopefully we can become the daily show for you, pre-market into market analysis. What's going on here with the US 30 firstly? US 30 fell off a little bit. You can see here the Dow. Dow's coming back down to pretty big area, like 33,800, pretty big area for the Dow. There is a lot more weakness in the Dow, and the reason why, it has Caterpillar and it has other stocks that, guess what, are in our short potential. Now, you probably can't see that. Let me bring it up. Let me bring up that short potential. Got to get this list up a little bit higher. There we go. So these are all the stocks we hate right now. Netflix is only in there when it breaks underneath a certain level, but these are our hated stocks, or at least my hated stocks. So therefore, the community hates them as well. And yeah, they're all declining at this point, but some of those are in the Dow, and that's what's been causing that big issue. We move over to the US 100. You know what? I would say that the Fed announcement, it didn't do much to the markets. It really just put like a crazy amount of momentum in the Forex markets. There's actually been some pretty good trading in the Forex markets today. You saw dollar index, you saw gold, crazy movements. Big, well, not crazy, but big movements indeed. Now you go back over to the stock market and you think, is anything even happening? What's even happening? Daily 20 moving average has been hit for the day. This is exactly where the bulls have to regain control. But mark my words, they have to gain control today. I mean, guys, where do you think the market's going today? Is it going up or is it going down? Chat, you've got to let me know right now. Up or down for the end of today? What do you think? And this is a hard one for you because guess what? It's only down 0.05 right now. So do you think it'll regain the bull control by the end of the day? Papa Jerome said we'll still purchase. What did he say exactly? He said, we're still going to buy all those sweet bonds for at least the time being, and then we're going to talk about talking about potentially tapering. That's crazy. I mean, imagine that, just saying those words. I'm potentially talking about tapering. Amazing. What a world we live in. The market is completely indecisive here. We need real volume to give us the idea. This is when the fake market futures, even the fake market futures, have no idea what's going on. Because you can see this, US 500, where is it? It's like, yeah, what's up? It's like long leg dojing the entire day. Indecision all over the place, waiting for the big moves. When will we know the big moves are coming through for the day? Let's have a look at the SPX. So we're basically sitting around 42.12. So we're sitting here. Let's have a look. 42.12. When will we know that the market is ready to turn around? Right on the 20 moving average of the real market, the SPX, the SPY here. You can see exactly the key level that you want to be opening at. So I'm kind of looking at the fake market futures. We're going to go down to 1 hour. We've been as high as 42.19 and as low as 41.95. So if we take the session low, we take the session high, day traders will probably be looking in here and saying, you know what? We clean above this. Let's get back up here, boys and girls. Let's get back up here. 42.44. That would be the session that they're looking for. They're going, yeehaw, all the way back up into this zone. Can they do it? Let's see what the chat thinks. The chat, Homer J says it's down. Gerhard says sideways. Rocktopus says down. Negative with rotation into inflation trade stock, says E. Elliott. Random says down. Put day, down, 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 down. A few people up. I would say by the room here, it is mostly down. Huey, welcome to the community, by the way. I've seen you a lot in the private Discord. Welcome, Huey. Have you even synced your subscription? I can't remember, Huey, but anyway, thank you so much for joining for 2 months. We've got a couple of donations coming in here as well, so we'll be doing all of those soon. I see one of our favorite stocks at the moment, Pins. I see some other questions as well. So people are saying it's going to coil down. I would say over 50% of the community right now thinks a down day. I'm going to go with, you would think down, but you know what? Stuff that. I'm going to go up. Up, guys. That is the soothsayer's call. Why? Because the market likes to do random things. You know what I'm convinced of, though, now? I'm almost completely convinced that let's say we go up here. Let's say we go bullish for the next month and a half. You know, relatively speaking, it does this, you know, meandering up market. You know what's going to happen later on this year? We are going to get a correction. It is going to be 10 to 15%. You know why it's going to be so deep, or it has to be that deep at least? Because the market is still a little bit too strong. And even though I believe the actual trade is not in the US 100 and it's not in the US 500, it's actually in understanding the rotation right now and the sectors that are becoming popular due to where we are at with the recovery. And I think that's where the better gains are. We've talked about it a lot in this channel. It's very interesting to see that most people are still 10% plus bullish on the end of the year. So 10% from this level. That means that we would be at like 4,500 on the S&P. Is that right? 4,500, 4,500-ish, 45, 4,600. I still think August, September, we could be looking at a bit of a surprise in the markets. And that's what we'll definitely be focusing on the channel, because things are looking good, but things are also going to be, when is the Fed going to taper? And now every single time the Fed comes out, guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to pay attention. You know, I kind of enjoyed it when Jerome said nothing and the market didn't really care, because he was just like, you know, we'll use all the tools, it's all good. That meant we didn't have to pay any attention. It was great, just trade price action. Now, every time we go into one of these Fed meetings, every time we see Papa Jerome come out, we're going to have to be worried about, oh, is he going to announce tapering now? Is he going to do that? That's going to suck. Let's have a look at the price action here on the US 100. So I was pretty impressed with the price action today, actually. 2 bullish wicks, followed by another bullish wick, followed by a 4 hour here, and you can see it's like a long leg doji. So another one of those ones that we dial in here on the 1 hour, and then we start to consider, well, where could we be at for the session? Again, session highs here, 13,950. We closed yesterday at, let me have a look here on the NDX. We closed at 13,983. And if we have a look at this on the 4 hour chart, you'll notice it came down to the 20 and bounced pretty heavily. So we've got some session highs, some session lows. That's the way I'd be looking at it throughout today if you are interested in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ actually looks more bullish than bearish in terms of just the fake market futures price action. But of course, we will see in the first hour the direction that this market wants to go. And it looks like we need real volume, or at least a little bit closer. Maybe in an hour, when we're getting closer to the open, these futures will come alight. Let's just quickly go around to the donations here. We've got Jake Silver. He's waited 9 minutes. Sorry, Jake. He says $2.99. Pins. Pinterest. All right, let's do pins. So pins yesterday down 1.25%. Let me just bring this up. Pre-market. This says nothing, but I'm sure it is moving. Maybe it's not trading pre-market at the moment. Look, pins. Let's go to the daily. Just a little bit of a pullback, really, in the overall good trend. So we liked pins a lot. Specifically, we liked it here. We're still targeting $75. Yesterday, it was up for a little bit of the session. It was quite good. Hopefully, we can continue our bullish movement. You can notice the 20 and the 50 moving average are getting closer together. The volume over here, big spike, someone purchased. Look at this volume, guys. Nice big candle, sure. But that's some big volume. Even yesterday, some decent volume compared to where it's been all the way through this bullishness. So we've had bigger candles, but we haven't had that much volume. So we'll continue to watch this one. I think it's still in the trend. Let's have a look at the 1 hour. Oh, 1 hour, 20. That wasn't ideal. Old Papa Jerome stuffed us over there. Let's have a look if we've got any other sequences. Not really. So we're going to be able to find a 1 hour, 20, a 20 somewhere. This morning will be important. I would like to see bullish price action for pins today, not bearish. We still have some great supports for it. We obviously have $68 flat, being the previous little resistance, support, and a 50 on the 1 hour. So right there, 68 flat. And then we've got the 66 behind it. But we do not want this thing under 66. Under 66, oh, it's gone. We have to bail, run, unless you're investing in it, because that will not be cool. We don't want that. But yeah, pins still looking pretty good, I think, on the charts. Hopefully we can move towards the $75 target. Yeah, guys, no politics in the channel. We don't do it, but don't even talk about it. Knock, knock. Super chatted $5. Oi, Tom, can you give OXY Occidental Pete when you get a chance? Smash the like button, friends, Knock Knock says. What? OXY? Oh, petroleum. Okay, let's have a look at this petroleum stock. Yep, nice closure yesterday. Movement up. Oh, sorry, that's the weekly. Oh, nice flag, dude. Nice flag. Good flag. Let's have a look. Let's check the flag. Will the flag fly? Probably down to a 50, yeah? Oh, 38.2 fib. Perfect. That flag would fly. That one, we could get to the barbecue, guys. And therefore, it's a great flag. Absolutely. Perfect. Nice, dude. Great breakout yesterday. Let's take the little bit of the move here. Let's just take the full pole. Let's extrapolate that full pole out. So both poles actually recommend much higher rates in terms of where you're expecting. So there's your last support. I think new high is in order. It's a petroleum, oil, and gas company. We know that US oil still doing quite well. It's pulled up nicely throughout the session. It's not like gold. It's not getting obliterated right now in the markets. It's a good trade. Continue with the session there. Daman Sani, $2.99. No message, but thank you very much. I assume there is a message. One of the mods has gotten it for you. You're lucky, Daman. He says, hi, Tom. Could you please check out the ASX 200? I just super chatted. Thank you. ASX 200. What is with you guys? You love the ASX 200. It's my Australian index here. Let's have a quick look at the Australian index. Nasty today. Down a little bit. That's fake market. 1 second. Let's have a quick look here. We don't want to use the fake market one. We need to use some other futures. Let's have a quick look here. We should have some other ones. There we go. That one's good. Perfect. That Oanda data, unfortunately, has the fake market on it. So there's the pull up that happened throughout the session. I don't know what I was looking at there. And yeah, came off the previous resistance. So that's good. Look, it's looking for new highs. Our economy is going pretty well here in Australia, arguably. We obviously are going to keep juicing the fund. So basically the Reserve Bank of Australia, similar to the Fed, we've begun something that we can't really stop. We ultimately move with the other markets. The reason our market's looking hot right now, we've got a lot of energy, got a lot of oil, got natural gas, we've got banks that are on fire. Too much fire. They will explode. But our banks are on fire, and of course we've got some new sectors coming out. Plus we've got healthcare rotation, which is the sector in and materials that are holding up. So look, a break through the 7,400, I think that's going to be super strong. And if we do get through there, then we should be on the way towards like a 7,500, and we'll just keep following the S&P 500. The reason we don't cover this market very much is because realistically the S&P 500 is the go-to, and this market just kind of floats around. If you're wondering how to pick it up, like we said recently, 8-hour 20, guys. Same thing happened today. 8-hour 20 moving average, exponential, easy as. Roll reversal, pick it up. Roll reversal, pick it up. Roll reversal, previous resistances, pick it up. If that's the way you want to trade it and you want to trade this particular market. I'm still very careful in the banks right now. I think it's a good time to be very cautious. Let's just say that. Very cautious. Can you take a look at NVIDIA? Yeah, we can have a look at that later. Why no politics? Because no one ever agrees, bro. That's why. It just gets crazy. It gets crazy. Karamaga, $2.99. Can you look at ENS? Sure can. Sure can. 98.24. ENS. Got a new member as well, or member from 2 months ago, Stan Lee. Is it the real Stan? No, it can't be the real Stan Lee. He's dead. He's dead. But yes, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Stan Lee. Welcome to the community again. Appreciate your support. ENS, nice pickup off this previous resistance. So you can see here across the board, we have resistance, we have support after the breakout occurred. Great movement up. I think it continues on here. And because of the way that it's pulled back, and the fact that it had this massive movement on it, this is obviously some manufacturing company thing, then yeah, it should be able to actually make a new high. This is the type of thing where if you're taking this, would I sell it here? I would consider scaling. However, with everything that's going on, the way it's acting technically here, where you've got the previous resistance acting as support, it should be relatively strong. You can absolutely talk about pizza, man. MN, no worries. No worries, you can talk about the pizza. A few people asking about a few different healthcare stocks. This is one that's been trading incredibly technically. Another big short off the top of the channel here on Regeneron. This has been one of the best technical trades, I would say, in quite some time. Just been trading specific giant, literal descending and ascending triangles. And Regeneron certainly has been doing that. From a technical perspective, one of the best out there. We'll keep going around the market, and we'll go through some healthcare a little bit later. Now, let's keep going. What else have we got? We've got US oil. Nothing really changes at this stage, other than too many people are talking about it. And you know that makes me feel uncomfortable. I hate it when people talk about stuff and we've already been in it for a while. It means we're getting close to the end. So where are we with the US oil? Well, we've been following this trend for quite a few times. And I've told you quite a lot on the channel that we're very close to the first critical zone. In fact, we're actually hit the first critical zone. Why? Look at this. 72.90, 72.80 area. That was the previous resistance that actually it got sold off pretty heavily from. So I'm wondering whether, with all the chitter chat in US oil, whether this is a zone that we should have been taking profit off, scaling out, and then re-entering on the breakout high to go towards the 75, 76. It does make some sense. Let's see what happens today, though, because like every good trade, you've got to find out ways of following the trend. And we've been currently following the trend with the 4-hour 20, and it's been damn good. It's been damn good. So many entries. Look at all those lines. They're all over the top of each other. So there's been so much opportunity here on US oil recently, but everyone's talking about it, and you know it's over and it's going to go do a pullback because guess what? We've even got a sequence here. We've got a peak, got a trough, got a lower peak currently. What if we get a lower trough? Meh. It's an alert. We have to scale. We have to get the hell out, and then we have to come back in once we get back above this. That's the kind of area and the kind of thing that you've got to think about from a trade. Now, if you're investing in oil, I still have faith towards the 75, but it is getting extended, and too many people. Kramer's talking about it. When Kramer talks about it, oh my God. That's when we have to really run for the horse. We have to get out of there when Kramer talks about it. Let's have a look at the volatility index today. It is spiking up here, 3.75%. US 100 now getting a little bit lower. So once we get up now, US 100, we'll know where the bears get full control. We'll know where the bears get full control. As soon as they get underneath 13,850, down for the session. Why? Because of the wicks. Up above here is good. Below here, it's bad. The bears have regained control, and they will push it all the way down here. What's this? 13,740, 750 zone. It's about 100 points. I expect that. What do you guys think? I expect that to be the movement. VIX is currently spiking if we get underneath. As soon as we get underneath there, unfortunately, I could see it scrolling all the way down and through. Let's have a quick look at GME now and AMC. So GME, I kind of feel like it's firing up a little bit here. There's some angry apes out there, and they've got many reasons why they believe GME is going to be the next hot meme stock. If you could even say one of the pillars is a hot meme stock. It is picking up at the right area. Support. We've talked about a closure above here, activating the apes. $240. Once we get closed above there, I don't know where it's going. 280, 350, those levels. We'll put them on the chart. We'll leave them there. We'll see what happens. There's the 240. You know, the apes are activating here. I feel like they're coming in hot. Some weird kind of transaction went on yesterday near the close as well. I don't know if that's real. I didn't verify whether it is. Maybe someone in the community can tell me. But that was an interesting transaction in the last couple of minutes. Little bit of a rally there, and you can see it's up 0.54% this morning. Let's have a look at AMC on the converse side. Why is AMC down? AMC 53, basically back to the 52.34 that we've had as the previous support. That this is literally the level we've had as the previous support, and now it's coming back down to there in the open. So we've got GME sitting there going, hey, what's up? We're kind of feeling flat. You got AMC getting kind of demolished. You know, if it gets through this support, suddenly 48. Underneath that, suddenly $40. That's not what we want to be seeing. Of course, we don't want those levels to occur, but if they do, yeah. Then we have, of course, the rest of these stocks, I'm assuming mostly red. Let's just look up the Webull. Let's go to the speculation list. Let's click the pre-market. Mostly red, it looks like. And the only thing that's green is molecular data. Everything else, sea of red. Let's go over to the bigger companies. We'll have to reset it again. So 24.5 bill. And then we want to go to as big as we can go. And then we want to go negative. On the EPS, who cares? What's fundamentals? We don't do that. There we are. No, we do. We use both here on the channel. And then we'll go and we'll click on the big red and green buttons. So Chipotle down 2%, Ferrari down 2.48, and then we got Shopify down 1.19. But I tell you what, Shopify did amazingly the last couple of days. Square down 0.93 in the morning, and if we go with the positives, we've got BioNTech, Moderna, two that were down yesterday, JP Morgan, Toyota, Baidu, not much green throughout that. So all of these stocks, BlackBerry down, GME up, AMC down, Plug flat. This thing, PaySafe. Well, I don't think we need that there anymore. That busted off. That was certainly short. And then we've got Corsair flat. That was a bad day, wasn't it? It was a pumpy dumpy. And that's the problem. Only GME and AMC are not pumpy dumpy. AMC, GME, partial diamond hands. Every other one, pumpy dumpy, unfortunately, guys. That's just the way it is. All right, let's quickly scroll through some more of these donations. We've got one coming in from Justin Robert, $4.99. Thanks so much, man. Could you please discuss OPEX? How do you interpret open investment and how it can affect price action? I'm not sure if I should discuss that. Message me in Discord, man, after this. I'll have a discussion with you at that point. So, yeah, with that one, message FXE Tom, and I'll answer it for you. Thank you very much for the donation. Mike H, $9.99. Some of the nice boomer stocks traders I followed on YouTube are talking about buying Citigroup right now. Ticker symbol C as a play against coming inflation. What do you think about that? Citigroup. Wowzers. It got smashed, didn't it? Banks. Citigroup in particular. A bank that is not... Well, it's performed okay recently, but of course has been known to underperform. I wouldn't buy the banks against coming inflation. I understand that banks make money in higher interest rate environments, that kind of thing. I'm just not convinced that these banks can get themselves out of the holes that they're in. They haven't been investing in their own technology. And I think this is where someone like maybe Cathie Wood is technically correct. And you know what? I kind of believe her. Let's see what the chat thinks. What do you guys think about this? So I think that a lot of these banks, although they're never going to go bust, don't get me wrong, they're not going to go bust. The government will save them in most cases because of the financial system. Look, it's coming down to support as well, resistance. So, from that point, it's valid. But if you were to hold this level, and it's catching a falling knife for sure, and think about what Citigroup's doing. Are they investing in technology? Are they going to get the millennial generation? We're going into a point here where I can tell you, would I bank with Citibank? No. Why? I don't particularly like them. Would I bank with potentially a new upstart kind of company? At some point, yes. Now, would I put all my money in them? Probably not, but I would definitely use maybe my savings account, my transactional account, and where a lot of money actually is made by banks, I would possibly use a Square or something else. I just would. Now, everyone underneath my age group, I'm 33 by the way, a lot of people underneath my age group, they would definitely be using smaller cash apps, and that is going to be the new thing. It won't be the pillars of society anymore. It'll be how much have you invested back into your back end, and guess what? These companies haven't. From what I've seen, I've used a lot of banks over the years. So many of them are behind on software. They're like this. They're using like a program on top of a program on top of a program on top of a program that talks to another program. That is actually how some of these infrastructures are built. Are they on the cloud properly? Probably not. So yes, I think you could play it this way. It is coming down to support, and this is a decent percentage pullback, but it's not my preferred way of doing it. It's just because it looks tasty, and they're probably used to also buying these companies. Banks are definitely not my investment for the next decade, for sure. Not even buying them. Darth Sidious says, what's a bank? All my funds are in trading. Yeah, true. That's true. Stephen, look at the chat here, guys. Look at him go. Stephen Aldrich, not happy with the banks. Yes, unfortunately, a lot of people don't seem to like it, and that is the problem. It's a huge ball of band-aids. That's probably, ball of band-aid software, Brett C says. Yep, that's very true for some of these companies. Some have invested, but not all, and Citi's well known for getting into trouble. I mean, look at the drop-off they had last year. 80 down to 32. Let's just go back in time, just quickly here, and consider where they were. Wait, I ran out of space. Oh, wow. Look at this. 07, 500, equivalent $554. I bet you a lot of you have never actually looked at this. And you think, hot damn, is this the best investment? I know. I'm going to buy the dip, guys. Buy the dip. It's going back. No, didn't go back. Not one of my favorites. I don't even know how to pronounce it properly, but if you go to Deutsche as well, or Deutsche, or whatever, the bank over there in Europe, it's very, very similar. Terrible. Oh my goodness. Do we really want to be doing something with this one? I always say, if a bank or a company makes the same mistake, more than one time, I'm not going to be fooled. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me for sure. Or whichever way it is, you know what I'm saying. Let's have a look here at the crypto markets. That was crazy. I actually ran out of space trying to get to the stock price. I ran out of space. A few people want Workhorse. We will look at it. A few people saying also Enphase was crazy yesterday. Absolutely. On our watch list up here. Shop and Enphase. Mwah. Especially Shop. What a great technical entry it had. Let's go through BTC US dollar. So, a few people mentioning, currently they're saying, I'm getting the fib out on these. I'm going to draw fibs. I'm going to draw it back in time. They're drawing it from the last pull. Fair enough. And they're going to say 61.8 golden fib ratio pullback. And then if you go through other ones, other pullbacks in time, golden fib ratio pullback, I believe. I don't know. I sent some image about this today. So there it is. Back into the zone. Then of course the pandemic, but whatever. And then they talked about this one, and you go like that. And then of course golden ratio pullback, and then some pickup. So I think it's fair to think that, even though I don't like the golden fib in pretty much most trading aspects, because I think it pulls back too much and kills sentiment. And guess what? You can kind of tell. Look over here. It pulled back too much and killed sentiment, and sentiment was gone. What it can mean is that we're at a point of rally for Bitcoin. So look at this and go down into something like an 8-hour chart for the crypto traders out there. We are at the precipice of a very important zone. We're on the trend line of the last two lows. So you can see here, trend line, 20 moving average as well. We have the trend line that came through that we broke, which I think was pretty important. And then we've got all of these points intersecting in this real red box between previous resistances, support now, moving averages. It's all here. So with BT shorts going like this, with all the big whales saying, stuff you guys, we're going to take you down. All you crypto traders, we're going to take you right downtown, and you're not going to make any money because we're the whales and we're going to win. It's all going to come to loggerheads very, very soon. And I think we're going to see it today, whether this market wants to hold up or not. Because guess what? We start breaching under here for too long. I don't want to see a breach close. I want to see a breach wick back up. Because if it doesn't, then unfortunately, as soon as we breach under here, back off we go down to the bottom, back into accumulation, etc., etc., etc. I do tend to agree, though, that I think Bitcoin is clearly in a low point here. There won't be much lower after this without having a significant rally. Like a 45, 50K rally plus. I want to see a 50K rally, at least up to here. Because every other time it's come down to the 61.8 fib, it has had a good rally in it, and I think that is valid. I still think that is valid. So Mike H, my thoughts on Citigroup again, thank you very much for the generous $10 donation, is that it's on support technically. You're catching a falling knife. And I wouldn't probably play it against inflation. That's just the way I would look at it. Scott Morgan says, Tom, there's so much DKNG talk on the chat, and this is not even coming from me. I saw a lot of Workhorse chat. Did I see any DKNG? Scott might be the number one fan. He's even got a little picture of DraftKings now on his stuff. So Workhorse 1.54% up. At least it bought through yesterday. Let's have a look at the chitter chats. We'll use this one to see what's spiking here. And then we'll go over to the stock. I still think StockTwits is better than this, you know. So we've got Clean Energy, BlackBerry, Workhorse, bit of increase there. Where's our GME? GME barely increased. Let's actually get up the StockTwits. Okay, I'll do that now. And the reason why I like the StockTwits is because you can really see the trenders and it saves you so much time. So a lot of these programs, I feel like they're behind half the time. At least this one's always in. So these are all of the current things moving. You can see people are looking at buying silver today. It's never gold, it's always silver. Torchlight Energy Resources, number one in this breakout. Let's have a look at the most active. So most active, interesting. No GME in here. AMC, whatever that is. Torchlight, Wish, Workhorse is in there. SPY, Oxygen. So when you go to GME, message volume down. Okay. Interesting. Was spiking there at a point. So once you see that rally in message volume, again, you'll know something's up. See that rally? Generally, that rally is followed by price. And especially if that rally goes through that $240 target, that's when you know all of the apes are getting out of control and it becomes feverish. They go crazy and then they push the price. So remember, look for message volume increase. And at the same time, we want to also see price breaking through resistance. That's the big thing we want to have. So it looks like Workhorse is in there today. I'm not seeing too much here, but price action's up slightly for the session. Slightly. Some news coming out, 412K from Consensus 359. Jobless claims. Yeah, let's have a quick look. Yeah, it would come out just recently. Reload this. So there's jobless claims, 412 instead of the consensus amount, which is 360. It's not the most important piece of news, but obviously after an event like the Fed, the market's looking for every little bit of news and they're trying to stabilize themselves because they know now they're talking about tapering. Talking about tapering. So that'll be a thing, but I wouldn't read too much into it. Generally, they're fairly close. You can see here it's a little bit off for the first time in quite some time. Okay, let's have a look at how the market's actually reacting to that now. Doesn't care at this stage. I think we've really drawn out for our day today exactly what's going to go on. I think we have a fair idea based on the fake market futures, especially about the low. I think that low, if the bears get control, that next 100 points is very likely. And that's just because when you think about it, you've got a rejection in the real trade, then you got fake market futures rejection, you've got the resistance up here, and then if it gets back through there, what's it telling us? It's saying, you know what, we kind of waited all day for it, and now, yeah, we're Wall Street, we're ready to take that thing down. Let's at least give it another 100 points, scare everyone off the market, then we'll buy it up. A few questions coming in here. I'm just having a look at them. Avis car rental. It's run up too much. Wait for a pullback. Yeah, Avis. They killed their car and stuff. They killed their fleets. And then when they did that, there was obviously the biggest amount of need for cars. And every client has told me this. They've all said, I'm paying too much for cars. And they're making bumper profits. Like, cars are crazy expensive to rent. But this is not good. That's a bubble, and it will be subsided. So when you think about it, this is currently rated at market capitalization 6.136 billion. So what we're going to do, and we won't do it today's stream, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, is I'm actually going to go through ratios over time, and I'll do one of the things that I like to do, which is look at these plots over time from a purely fundamental ratio. And what you'll notice is there's kind of like a medium level that they've been rated at. And then there's sugar highs, euphoria, and mass fear levels. And you can actually see the sugar highs and euphoria by just looking at this literally little bit of like the smallest line ever. And it will help you a lot to figuring out whether you want to actually take profit in your investment, especially with companies like this, and you know it's in a sugar rush, or you want to, basically buy things in, more of a value zone, even though there could be a hyper growth stock as well. So we'll certainly do that on the channel. You know what? Just by looking at this, let's go to the weekly. No. You know what? Damn it. It's going in. Get in there. There we go. It's in my short potential now. I don't like this stock. I think it's super overpriced. Ridiculous. Away from the 20 moving average. Looks weak. You could see there on the 4 hour that, was it the 4 hour or the 8 or the daily? Let me have a look here. Yeah, the daily, that it keeps coming down to this 20. And guess what? It hasn't breached this 20 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Last time it breached it, went all the way down to 50. So there's certainly a breach potential here to the downside, which will push this through to at least the 50 moving average, if not worse. That doesn't look too good to me. What do you guys think? You reckon that looks good? Doesn't look good to me. 1 hour? No. Bradley Back says that FX Evolution is Ty on tomorrow's stream for Crappy Beer Day. Depends whether he's feeling better or not, man. He had pneumonia this week, so he wasn't feeling too good. We will get my my business partner, my trading partner, that I've been doing this for 10 years. He'll be coming on the channel very soon. Should be good banter. Dig Doug, super chat $2. No message. Thank you very much, though, Dig Doug. Appreciate your support, as always. A few times you've donated now. We've also got Nikal Sharma, 150 rupees. Rupees? I think. Maybe it's not. Hi, Tom. Could you please check out and see if there is a double bottom forming on Petronet LNG? Yeah, sure. We can have a look at that. Petronet LNG. Welcome to the 1,448 viewers, by the way. Yes, you're correct about this. Being a potential double bottom, but it's just a potential. Remember, when you're saying this point, what you're saying is it forms a double bottom when it gets through this intersecting peak here. When that happens, you're looking for the movement of the trough or the low all the way to this peak, and then you extrapolate that out. And I do a thing called proofing. We've got a proofing theory on this channel, and that is that if you see a good pattern, usually it should proof into a next resistance or support. I would actually say 240 will be your target on a trade like this. You've got to be very careful here because you could see the supports and the resistance, which will become again. Plus, you've got a 200 here on the 1 hour. So I'd be a little bit careful there. But yep, you're exactly correct. It's spotting it at that point. Let's have a look at the bigger time frames. I guess that's the one you're looking at. If you're going to pick it up off this low, what I would probably do is go into a smaller time frame, like a 5 minute. See if I can recognize something. I see something straight away here. A little bit of a downtrend. And you know what I'd be doing? Movement up. Movement down. Lightning bolt through the 230 here. Bang. Take it. And then you can take profit either at the top of the double bottom or you could take it above that. That's an aggressive entry style. But it certainly can work quite well. And yeah, that's the way I'd be looking at this. Oh, where's the calling for tapering question? What is this? I really, really want to see that calling for. Oh, yeah. Calling for tapering 2 years in the future is kind of like telling me what the weather will be too, says Wilco. Yeah, look, and the market knows that. See, people haven't necessarily traded the market since since the mid 2000s or after the global financial crisis. The Fed, it's not the first time that the market has heard, oh, we're going to taper, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Guess what? Last time they barely did it. Oh, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, market. We're sorry. We're not seeing quite what we want. That's what happened for years and years and years and years. And they barely ever tapered it properly because they know in the back of their minds that they realistically cannot stop. They can't stop. They started something that's so bad, they cannot stop. I think most people will agree here. You take away all of the bond purchasing, everything they've been doing forever, and just turn the tap off completely, it's not going to work. They stuffed it up. It's like going back to Japan and looking at what they've been doing over the years, and now they own 70% or 60-something% of their bond market. It's crazy. Dig Dug wanted us to have a look at the 4Us, Energy Fuels. Okay, let's have a quick look here. Luckily, one of our mods picked that up for you, man, so thank you for the donation. Let's have a look at the daily. Energy Fuels. It's bouncing around. 4 hour. I mean, it looks okay. Looks like it's longing up here. It's trying to get back to testing those peaks at 736. I wouldn't say it's negative, but just remember you are exactly at this point. So if we go to a 1 hour chart, you're going to see support, 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 resistance. So if I was trading, let's say I want to day trade this, see how there's long leg doji here? Indecision candle, a little bit higher, decision made, back to the highs. That's how I'd be looking at it. This actually was a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, went the distance. So it is acting technically. Long leg doji. I want to see a little close above here, and then you can move up to these shoulders. Good luck on that one. People want to travel after pandemic. They will rent a lot, says Gotham Bags. I agree, but it's still a sugar rush. So what I mean by that is, remember, the market is forward thinking. So the market expects big numbers because they've been seeing it. So the market gets out of control. Let's say we grow at 10% in this quarter. You know what the market wants next time? They want 15% per quarter. Then they want 20% per quarter. Then they want 30% per quarter. They want so much growth. And you know what's eventually going to happen. That's why, like, if I was holding this stock here, CAR, would I hold that for years? Chat, would you hold this for years, or would you sell this at some point in the future? What is your thoughts? I want to know what the chat thinks. What do you think, chat? Would you sell? Let's say, okay, would you want to hold this for a year? That's the better answer. 1 year, would you buy and hold this, or would you be scared? Buy and hold, or would you be scared? Because, the market expects growth, and that's what it's trading off. Growth is not the car business, in my opinion. Viking Steel says, Tom, can we get some intro? We'll do it a little bit later, man. We'll do it a little bit later. Knock Knock says, the Japanification of the US economy. Absolutely. Yeah, it certainly is happening at this point. So we've gone through a few stocks so far. Obviously, things like the John Deere continue to weaken off here. We'll keep watching this stock and see how it trades down. We had that beautiful setup. Particularly, I love this. This was my favorite part of this setup. What a great part of the setup. Closure below, retest, and now we've been shorting off. That's been nice. We've had our weakness coming through on Caterpillar. We're so close to getting underneath. This will smash the Dow around if it gets underneath it. Imagine if Caterpillar gets under there. Ooh, the index won't be looking so good. Bang, straight under that level. 215.48. Oh, back to $200 for you, Caterpillar. Underneath the trend line that's been going through, another weakness. The sugar rush is coming off these. So, what have we just gone through? We've gone through farm machinery. So we got, and of course, construction machinery. So they're in booms right now, yet the stock price is ridiculous. So what's happened is the market's gone, yeah, it's all good. And then the market said, oh, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong. Victor Lau says, scared AF. Haircut said I would cry with that stock. And then Viking Steel said, I'm scared. Yes. Car equals midterm, not a year. Yeah, so I think you've got to know your stock. If you're buying car and you're buying those levels, I buy them as a trade. Definitely not a long-term investment. It's just way too sugar rushy. And once you understand that about the market, you think about things with big brain logically, which most people in the chat here do, it will help you out. We've got a donation coming in here from Calco, $2 Australian. ASTS, please. Let's have a look. ASTS. Space Mobile. Space Mobile. Mobile. Space Mobile. Looks like a squeeze stock based on the volume. Actually, yesterday had quite a lot of trade. Quite a lot of trade. Surprising amount of volume. So that big breakout. Couple of days a week volume. had a go and then failed again. It's another one where if you're interested in this and you like it, then at least it's not the worst price it's been. However, this shows me paper hands. So I would think somewhere around this price, what is this, like $10.30? You would hope that buyers come in like they did last time, and you'll be very, very happy if it closes above here, because that means they're really regaining control and the volume should go out of control at that point as well. So you get above here, boom. Not really great. I mean, you missed that initial entrance. Obviously, there was a little bit of hovering around at that tenner, and then it's gone up to 11, had a 12.33, sold off. It's going to have to do it today. If it's going to do it, it has to be today. Good luck on that one. S. Burgos says a lot of stuff is on Sugar Rush right now. Yeah, a lot of stuff is, but some things are just incredibly logical to know that they're going to get knocked around. You know, arguably you could say the tech stocks are on Sugar Rush, but I actually would probably go against that. I think they are growing. I think they do to a degree. Some of them do justify their prices to a degree. However, when you know an industry and it just makes total logical sense for it to be a little bit overpriced, I think that's what you're looking at with a car or a Caterpillar or a John Deere. I think they're much easier for the market to figure out, hey, what's this worth? Whereas a technology company, the possibilities of growth are endless. With the manufacturer of a vehicle, the possibilities are almost quantifiable. They almost know exactly how much you're going to make. PLTR still looking strong. Held the J-Power sell off pretty well. Yeah, let's start going through some of our favorite stocks here. And PLTR is unfortunately not on my list, but it did hold pretty well. 0.85% down today. That was actually a pretty nice closure for it. You could see it actually strong held the J-Power sell off. Get back above here, guys, and then you can move to your 26, and then you can move to your 27. Things certainly still looking recovery-wise. And you know what you should be happier about? Look at the little spike of volume down here. You probably can't see it too easily, but let me zoom in here for you. Look at that. Little spikes of volume coming through the market. Nice. Exactly what you want. Very good. And I quite like that. What else did we had? We had AMD, which was a request there. Let's have a quick look. AMD came down to 79, bounced off that. I'm still looking for a little breakout above this little section here. So this was one that we got excited about. And I'm still excited. And I've still got my line there. And once we see a closure above here, hell yeah, we're going to take it up here. Great buy yesterday in terms of it was coming off strong. We need it to continue for the session. And then we need it above this wick. So this price here, 81.67. Once we get past that, yes, we're going to look for the downward trend line. So we're going to go to the 8 hour. You're going to easily see that downward trend line. And this is a great little setup to smash us through to that level. So we're watching it very closely, AMD. And as you know, I'm a fan. I've got their processes, 2050 cross happening right now on the daily, basically. The moving averages are crossing through. Go click the daily, you'll see. There they are. Nice. I hope it holds today. It's on the precipice of having a nice move. Is the jobless claims bad or good enough to stop the J-Power? I think the market will be looking for that as well. You know, maybe bad news. Look, we don't know exactly how Wall Street's going to interpret it. We can only have logical guesses. And I think Wall Street sees this whole J-Power situation as, you know what, you say this stuff to cool us down. But realistically, when are you going to taper? You didn't do it last time. The Fed barely did it last time. So are you really going to do it in the midst of a recovery in the US economy? Show us when. And then when he does show them, if he does do it, yeah, the market will sell off. Yeah. Stephen Aldridge says PLTR deserves $40. Interesting. We'll go over and have a look at DraftKings in a few seconds. JBeans, US $5. Could you go over Amazon technical levels? Yeah, we certainly can. Also, welcome again to Ozark Granite LLC. Made a member for 2 months. Thank you so much for joining again and supporting the channel. Appreciate that one, bro. Let's have a look at Amazon. Nice trading. This is, we actually have big goals for Amazon. Whoa, how do we have so much goals for Amazon? Crazy, huh? So we had a nice breakout the other day. There it is. We have then had long leg doji, decision, long leg doji, decision. So lots of bullishness that's come through. And we have like a crazy aim for it. And that may seem crazy, but I actually feel like it can do it. And I think Amazon's prepped itself to have some good growth. I also think that maybe the government won't attack them just yet on taxation. They will eventually. And when they hit Amazon up for taxation, it's going to be a bad day for the traders here or the holders. We're basically at resistance, 34.26. Previous resistance, previous resistance, previous resistance. We clean this level once we get through here. And I expect it to have, I would think, a little pullback, but maybe it keeps going here. Then we can move towards the next almighty resistance. And what I'm waiting for, and I've got all that set, because I think that these two levels make a lot of sense. This previous 35.50, I want that to clear so we can go towards 3,900 on Amazon. That's what I want. I want 3,900 on Amazon. Great trend line. It's been acting quite technically. Beautiful resistance break. We're at the next resistance. So we basically had pullbacks every other time. Will we have pullbacks again? You would think so. So this is the point. Even the volume was up. Look at the volume. Even the volume was up. Bigger than last time. Let's have a look here. Volume. This candle dropped off a bit. That's a big volume trade. Traders are coming back in. Or investors, actually. So yeah. Clean through 34.26. Keep moving up. Let's have a look at the moving average we expect it to pull back down to. What happened last time? 2 hour 20. Probably not good enough. 4 hour. No. Daily? No. So it's probably 4 hour then. Or a 6 hour. I'm just looking through the last history of when it pulls back. Does it go to any particular moving average? I would say not based on this analysis. So we're looking for it to break. Come back down. Boost to 35.50. And if it busts through that, have a serious participation phase. Good luck, J-Beans. Doesn't look too bad. Amazon owns Twitch TV. Yeah, they own Twitch. Parker White says, why is gold dumping? Please, I'm a noob. So the problem with gold at this stage is it's the dollar index and JPOW. So if you've got the dollar index moving up so much, what's happening here is people are moving into this as the hedge, and this is the safety tool. You've got inflation, oh, not inflation, you've got interest rates going up, and gold is one of the big getting dominated by that kind of markets. Now, I don't think it will be long-lived. I think gold will find support, but the fear is coming into that market. And you can see they're really dumping on it to destroy, I guess, all of the people, all of the retail community that have been purchasing a lot of gold bars, a lot of silver, that type of stuff. But this one's doing you damage. The dollar index is out of control. It's moving up heavy. Hit our first level of resistance in 1 day, which was pretty sweet. I mean, that was a beast. Look at the long leg doji down here. Look at the long leg doji. Two of them, guys. And they went straight through as soon as we had the long leg doji, number one. Number two, at the point of resistance. And then JPOW took it through. So this is how fast the market is repricing. And then it overprices. So what will happen is gold will go too far. Dollar index will go too far. They'll go into what they call the excess phase. And I'm theorizing with the community right now that gold will hit excess phase around here. So somewhere around this 1765, it's going to be at that last point of the fear. And then I hope it goes a little bit of excess spike, comes up, and then we can start to technically trade it long. But if you're in the shorts, what a great couple of days it's been. Amazing. JPOW, very successful for the shorts. But for the buyers, every one of these supports isn't holding at this stage, even though they're great levels. So we'll keep watching it. Got a big donation coming in here from Cold Steel, a big supporter of the channel. $10. Give him a clap, guys. Also, give Mike a clap from before. You gave me $10 as well. Can you take a look at TTCF? We certainly can. What does everyone else want to see as well? We'll take a random one from the chat. Spam it in the chat, guys. What ticker do you want to see? I'll pick one of the popular ones, most likely. So put it in right now, and we'll have a look at one or two of those. We need to take it back to give the chat, the people that can't maybe afford the super chats, a bit of a go. Amazon is kind of concerning until the Bezos fight is successful. Yeah, I think Amazon has so many awesome things to their bow. Look, I think they're world dominating, but the success that they're having here in Australia is, you can tell it's pretty big, and they don't even offer that good of deals. So they're going through, they're creating like TDoc style services. I saw TDoc before. I will do that. They're creating style like, pharmacy services. I think that's a big deal. It's going to make a lot of money for them. They've got their web. They've got their cloud. They really do dominate. They'll have to be split, and all sorts of things will happen to them over the next decade. It won't be like last decade. It was so easy just to buy Amazon. I think the young, fast, nimble companies will take little shares, but they're a behemoth. There's no doubt. TTCF, this is the Tattooed Chef. Actually looks relatively weak. Oh, that is... Wow. If it closes like that tomorrow, that's weak. Rejection candle, shooting star, false breakout, followed by massive rejection candle. I would say pretty short on that. That doesn't look good at all. So if you really think about all of this, once we get underneath here again, that big volume, I assume this was because of Blue Apron or something like that. Yeah, Blue Apron probably got it through. This price action looks really nasty. I'd wait for the weekly, wait for a movement underneath that weekly candle, and then, that would be mostly short. If it does bull through this zone, it's going to be big, because you're taking out so many short sellers. There'll be short sellers all over that right now. I believe there will be. Thank you, Cold Steel. Would love to help you more, but that's all I've got. TDoc. Okay, we'll do TDoc. That was one of the requests from the chat, and we've got a few others coming in here as well. Tal. Is it all just Chris? No, a few people asking for Tal. All right, we'll check out Tal. And then Berkshire. Is that right? Berkshire. We'll check that one out. TDoc, still okay, but barely hanging on. Barely holding on. Yesterday, TDoc. Oh, look, thank God for the bullish hammer. Thank God for... I was like looking at it and I thought, wow, I'm glad I slept through that, because, that sucks. Went through this level of support, 149, and then didn't quite get under the 145. And I thought 149 was already bad for it, don't get me wrong. And then it comes back up and just closes here. So today, for day traders, we'll get rid of our trend line. We get a little bit of high above this. So a lot of people don't trade these things correctly. When you get a little bit of high above a hammer coming off a decent support, usually that creates participation and it goes quite high. So I would actually expect, if we get above this little candle here, that we can technically move to the 156 again, and then start printing in to move higher and get towards the 170 level. The previous support. This is the zone that we need to move towards. That's a good bullish hammer. But geez, does TDoc really sweat? It makes you sweat. It's not like a Shopify or a high quality stock that when it goes, it goes. This thing's the worst. It's the worst. It's definitely... it's kryptonite. That's what it is. TDoc is kryptonite. We don't want to be trading that one too often. Good hammer. Hopefully it can hold through. Let's do another one here. We've got BRKB. BRKB. The old Berkshire. Been pretty good investment. It's quite bullish on this last year on the channel. Got very bullish around this $200 mark. Yeah, it's like a lot of these markets, isn't it? You know, you look at a lot of these stocks and you start to question how good are the indices really right now, because you know, you look at this and you think, damn, that looks like a weekly double top. It's far away from the 20 moving average, and it does bring up good points. You know, we've got the short potential is getting bigger by the day. The short, I reckon I'm going to have about 100 stocks from the S&P 500 in the short potential soon. Let's have a quick look at Berkshire. When you think about what's happening here, this is so close to shorting off. It's barely holding on. Big amounts of volume starting to come through. You've got support. Can anyone in the chat tell me what could happen here? Could be a little bit of a double top or at least a channel break. And guess what's going to proof pretty well? Because if you take the distance here and you extrapolate that out, don't tell me the bears won't be happy with a movement, because by the time the weekly 20 starts catching up with it and this thing's shorting off, it's going to hit the weekly 20, which is exactly the level that you want to be at. So yeah, Warren Buffett's company, it's very, very close to breaching, and it hasn't breached just yet, but you can see bullish, wicks. Maybe today will be the day we find out what's going to happen here, because there is a lot of stocks starting to go a little bit bearish. Then we had TAL. Let's go check out TAL. Right on support. This was some form of Squeezy Gonzalez, I guess. Is that right? What is this? Integrated oil minerals. It's right on support. It's a good level. Resistance, support, 20 moving average. Let's go down to smaller time frames. 15-minute maybe. Might be the best place for us to go to here. Ah, little double bottom on the 15-minute. Nice. Little 5-minute double bottom as well, or maybe 1 minute. I'd be looking for that, you know. I wouldn't be greedy here because you're catching it down. I'd be going for 450 plus break, and that would proof really well up to here as well. So yeah, I like this, but I want it to go past 450. Good luck, but it is at support right now for that TAL. Interesting. What wasn't bullish after the Corona correction? Well, REITs weren't until recently. There are some stocks that got bashed and didn't ever recover. There were a few really bad REITs. Let's see what other people have here. Manuel Macias says the biggest risk with Burke is the GOAT himself passing away. I do agree. I think that will take off a percentage. We tried to do that on Apple, remember? And to me, I thought for Apple a big risk was Steve Jobs. And when he died, I thought, oh, that's not going to be he's got the pipeline set up. They knew he was obviously sick, and they knew there was a good chance that that was going to happen. So they put in place the right stuff. And I think that's what they're doing with Berkshire. I kind of think about it as this. If he passes away and you've still got one of them, obviously him or the Munger, then you're still probably okay. And I think any kind of fall off of the stock is still going to be met with big buyer demand. I doubt it's going to be long-lived. All right, a few other donations coming through. Let's do all of these. Scott Morgan, $5. Chose someone who might not be able to afford the super chat. Or choose someone who might not be able to afford the super chat. Well, I appreciate that, Scott. That's nice. All right, we'll go back up. We'll choose somebody. Let's see what we've got here. We've got AMBL. Is that coming from the same person? Karina has Airbnb, though. So Airbnb is pretty good. I kind of like that. And DKNG. I tell you what, we'll do a few. So let's do DKNG. Retail community certainly picked this one up. Let's go to the daily just to show the hit piece and the long leg doji. So we had the hit piece from Nasty Hedgies. Nasty Hedgies smashed DKNG. I did a tweet over at FX Evolution. Check us out, FX Evolution on the Twitters, if you want to have a look there. Did a bit of a tweet on that one. Long leg doji yesterday, so indecision candle. Retail wasn't too sure what's going on. The hedgies were fighting you guys. Look, closure above here, we should be able to move back, actually. I think that will create lots of stir, and that'll be a good candle. But, you know, we keep going underneath that level. Unfortunately, the hedges have gained control back of DKNG. It's not a great candle. It's indecision. I like these ones for trading off of, but ultimately it has no decision. It filled the gap. So it filled the gap here, and now we need to wait and see. Will it go higher, get above here, and then start the bull trend again? Hopefully it does, but we don't know just yet. So just watch this one very, very carefully if you're in it. We've got another one, Lego Spartan, Singapore, $5. Hey Tom, PTRA, SPAC deal. Ugh. EV bus, any good entry point? PTRA, SPAC, disgusting. That's not ever a good word. When you bring the word SPAC, it's a disgusting word. I don't like it. I didn't like it when I first heard about SPACs, even though I know that other one was. And yeah, that didn't work out well for a lot of people. Those SPAC crazes that happened were big. Well, you've got clear resistance here at the $20. You say there's a SPAC deal. It's basically right on. However, if it does keep falling, you've got a very nice zone at 15. So you've got a $5 increment here, and you've almost got right smack bang in the middle at 17, the next level. So here actually right now is a decent zone. And then you've got 15, which is a good zone. And you've got 20. Once you bust through 20, it's going to be good. And I would actually trade that kind of like a channel. So if it did break out, I'd actually take the $5, and I'd say, you know what, this thing should go another $5 to 25. I bet you it stopped close to 30. Yeah. Just above 30. So every $5 is super important to this one. This is a decent area because it's previous resistance that'll become support, but I think more likely the 15 is the level on PTRA. Thank you again, Lego Spartan. Then we've got KC, super chat at $5. Hey, HYLN, play figs. Okay, play figs. What's that? Oh, beautiful double bottom. Wonder if it completed. Nope, didn't complete. Still in play. Great trend down, trend that's been ended. Double bottom, good. 2050 cross, good. Some manufacturing parts company. Really nice support, becomes resistance, becomes support level. Engulfing candle, don't often talk about those. Looks all right now. This is the right thing. 2050 cross, you've got all those moving averages sitting behind you. So you probably have your stop loss underneath here or underneath the moving averages. The engulf yesterday is pretty nice. That's a good engulfing candle at the correct zone. I don't mind this. And I think there'll be a fib there as well. So yeah, up until the highs and then potentially even more because of the double bottom play. That's definitely recovering, that one. Victor Lau, $4.20. Thanks, Tom, for all you do. No worries, man. TA is second to none. Oh, I appreciate that, Victor. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel and finding it helpful. So at this stage, market is coming in green. We've got 0.05 on US 100. We've got US 500, 0.08. And then we've got the Dow up 0.1. I think we're going to have to be very careful over the next couple of months. I'm still feeling like we could have a green July, guys. I'm still feeling green July. But you know what? Whenever we see all these stocks and we look at things like CAR, we look at things like CAT, which still looks terrible. We look at things like UPS and FedEx. Some of these stocks are obviously juiced. And there's no doubt in my mind that we are in rotation. And you know where the best place to be right now is, in my opinion? Or actually, where do you guys think the best place to be in? Which sectors do you like the most right now? Put them in the chat. I'd love to know. While we wait for that, we'll do Airbnb. Still think it looks pretty good. Nice buying pressure yesterday. Slowly grinding our way back to the 163.60. I hope it can come through with the goods throughout this session. Little long leg doji on the 4 hour. So maybe little movement up here above this point. 150.80. then we can start seeing some more nice consolidated bullishness. Let's go to the daily volume again. Oh, see, there's lots of buyers here. Nasty. Some fund is purchasing into Airbnb. You can see all of this purchasing made us get super excited to buy. Then it did break out, came back down. Good technical. 2 weeks now. It's got to be close. It's got to be close to going through. It does. See what the chat has to say. Biotech, XLV, IBB. Is that me? XLY, XLV. Yeah, consumer discretionary is good. And then we've got software. Joel Pang says, nothing wrong with software. You guys have got big brains. You know what's up. Tech will be strong. Agreed. Cybersecurity is great, Joel. I love cybersecurity. I'm starting to not love the valuation. Those moves were pretty big, but great sector. What a great sector. Smash the like button, someone says. Real estate and biotech. Real estate should continue for quite a while in the lowish interest rate environment. A few people saying industrials. Fintech. Fintech is good. Financials, healthcare, tech. Yeah, you guys know what's up. These are actually the best sectors right now. They obviously have not been the best sectors for probably 3 months, 4 months. But guess what? The rotation's coming into them. A lot of retail people have lost money in options on them, I'm sure. The buy call options have all been expired, worthless. Wall Street's stolen your cash, as they like to do. But you are correct. All those sectors make sense. I think still, if you look at things like IBB, a lot of you probably have never looked at this chart and never paid any attention to it. You know, it's starting to heat up here. We've got big consolidation for a long time. And then we've had, obviously, a pullback after a closure above. This sector is due for some turnaround. It's actually been a bit of a terrible sector for quite some time now. It's a tough sector to make money in. But yeah, I love the formation here. So from an investment perspective, it does make some sense. Other things that make sense, you know, people were saying healthcare, XLV. You can see very clearly the channel here. You know, you break out above. That's going to be another strong kind of play. What was it? XLY, consumer discretionary. I think this is a good sector for the decade. I don't believe it's going to actually not continue to grow because the government's going to continue to want you to spend as much money as possible. But it's not my favorite, but it certainly is a decent one. And then subsectors. So things like fintech and stuff, I think they're all good plays. Cybersecurity, one of my favorites. Wintermute, $4.99. If I'm a Diamond Hand subscriber and upgrade to the next level, will a Discord automatically give me those additional private channels? Yes. Yes, it will, Wintermute. It fixes them all for you. And yeah, thanks very much for the question and considering taking that. So you're right. It'll instantly give it to you once you have it synced. Thank you very much. And then we've got Shahab super chatting $2. TIGR. TIGR. The poor version of, what is it? What's Klim say? The poor version of some other stock. I can't even remember which one it is. Is it Futu? Or is it something else? It's probably not Futu. Good level. Good level. Break out above this weekly. Coming back down to test that. Let's have a look at the daily here. Big sell-off yesterday. That's exactly the zone that you expect the buyers to come back in on. Good, dude. Nice. Support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support. It's a good level. It's a good level. We're 6 minutes away from the market. We better start recapping here. But yeah, that's a nice level. You are catching falling knife a little bit, but when we go back into the smaller time frames, let's go to a 15-minute. You've already seen some nice recovery here. Trough, peak, higher trough, higher peak. Breach this level. What is this level? Once you breach 25, you should be looking at, hopefully, nice recovery here. Good. Kim says, yes, it's Futu. Yeah, it's the poor cousin of the Futu. Let's use FTFT, Future Fintech Group. Yeah, 363. 363. Resistance, 370. Nice. Probably wait for the closure either way here and then take it in that direction on the 15-minute. Let's have a look at the daily. Doesn't know what it wants to do. Shows on the 15-minute. It doesn't want to know what it wants to do as well. Yeah, that has no idea what it's doing right now. Once it breaches that 370, though, it should be able to keep going up to the 4. So not too bad. Thank you very much for the donation. Thanks also to the subscribers out there. If you haven't already subscribed, do it, guys. We do this every day. I heard a rumor, and you guys will know. I'm sure some of you watch Meet Kevin. Is he done with live streaming? Is that true? I don't watch, but I do know that I got a message today, and they said he's done with live streaming. The guy's a bit of an animal. He works his ass off. You know, much respect to the other. I don't know many of the YouTubers because I'm from Australia, but I tell you what, it's not as easy as people think. It takes a long time and a lot of stuff, and you've got to keep going. And some of those guys in America, you guys grind like no other. I've got other things I got to do as well, including the YouTube. But geez, it's crazy. It's crazy how much you ground. All right, let's get in. So we've got AMC we'll be watching throughout the open here. Why not? We have to do it. It's down 2.37%. We've got lines everywhere. 55.16. But the open, 53.87. We have support, 52.40, 50, or whatever it is, 52.30 kind of area. We've got a 60. We kind of knew yesterday was going to be weak. Will today turn around? I want to load GME for my own interest's sake into the early morning session here. So GME down 1%. I'm looking for a 240 breakout on this though. And I tell you what, I might cover it until it damn well does. Because if it does, I'm sniffing GME. I'm going to be like, is GME cooking up tendies? Is that what's cooking up? I think I smell tendies, guys. But only at that point. Otherwise, there's no tendies in my kitchen. US 100 actually breaking out here above the resistance. Let's see if it can hold a close there ahead of the open. And we got Schwab joining with the diamond hands. Great picture of, is it Goku? Love it, dude. Thank you very much for joining, sponsoring the community. He's going to work on his core content. I thought he was being like a governor or something. It came up. Anyway, good luck to him. I hope he's but he doesn't need luck. He's kicking some ass. Let's keep watching. What other stocks do we want? The community usually wants Tesla, so we'll chuck it in there. 0.76. Let's have a look around the raw market. We've got 2 minutes to go until the open. Thank you to the 1,475 viewers joining us this morning. Let's now go through what we've got here. We've got VeriSign. VeriSign? Yeah, VeriSign. Beijing. I don't say that correctly, but whatever. Zscaler, down 1.99%. SAP, DocuSign, Snowflake, all of those down. Where's Snowflake? 235. Then we've got Greens, BioNTech, Stanley, Moderna, JP Morgan, NASDAQ, Goldman Sachs. So banks really finding the recovery. And we'll go to the speculation screener. We have big greens. Do we have any big greens? No. GameStop just eking out a green. I still think it's a bit of a sleeper there. People are probably going to come in on that one. And then we've got mostly reds across the board for the other squeeze stocks. So we're 1 minute off the open. What else have we got? Wendy's are selling games. Tom smells the Kentucky Fried Tendies, says Boytonus Maximus. That's right, I do. So here we are. We are 20 seconds off the open. I'm excited. I'm going to play it for you. Straight from America, the NASDAQ bell. Beautiful sound, guys. I do love the American market. It's the best market in the world, and I'm from Australia, so you know what? You've influenced me. I love this market. It's great, and that's why you're probably all here today. Let's have a look around what's going. So we got US 100, 13,951, pretty much on the open. AMC opens at 54. Pretty decent. GME opens 0.32% up. Tesla trading at a 602. Let's scroll through all of our stocks of interest. Someone asked before, is Twitter done? Is Twitter gone? Will it fill? I'm still comfortable with Twitter. A little bit of a pullback here. Eventual aim 64 and then get out of there. Jack Dorsey, what's he up to? CRM, Square, TDoc all down. Airbnb eking out 0.13. What's going on with my CISP? It's down 0.75. Pins, 0.66. So AMD, nice. Let's have a look at AMD's trade here. Oh, yeah. Come on, baby. Get up there, AMD, so we can get into some AMD tendies. We want to get through that trend line there, guys. New breach of this high, so we can start to see some strength. Intel, another one that's looking okay. Yesterday was a bad close for it, though, so I think AMD's the better one. US 100 is moving strongly here. Is it Apple pushing it through? Let's have a look at Apple. 0.09. It's not Apple. Let's click. Percentage changes. Clover Health, 2%. Interesting. Negative. Sundial, biggest one. The Goku or GoTo down. And now AMC down there as well. Let's look at the big stocks as they open. Did I see Shopify? Snowflake, Spotify, Shopify down 0.57. Not bad. So, bit of healthcare, bit of banks into the open. Dollar index still holding 91.67 and gold still down pretty damn hard, 1784. Is BlackBerry done? Yeah, I think BlackBerry is, it's not really like one of those stocks that people have held it because it was one of the originals, but it's not one that I like a lot. I know it fires, I know it does well, and there's probably lovers out there for it, but I still say there's only two pillars in the game, and that's AMC and GME. And unfortunately, they're the only ones that have that real true movement, the meme action, the true, like, people just want to hold it just to say they have it kind of play. And that's why every time one of these other squeezes goes, I always tell you guys it is a pumpy dumpy. US 100 doing really well here for the session, up 0.3% so far. US 500 shaking off the nasty J-Pow, 0.3%. So I guess we're correct in analyzing. You can see that power that's coming through here. Where do we expect it to go to? Somewhere around this, where was it? About here, I think it was. Let's have a look at the QQQ. Go down to a 5-minute chart. Just trying to get that high in for you guys so you can see that it's getting very close. Go to the US 500. That's the one with the cleaner level. Yeah. 42.37 the aim on US 500. So good start here in the session. Really nice. I think this is the market saying, you know what, J-Power? You say we're thinking about tapering. We don't care until you do it. And when you do it, we care a lot. We're going to crash the market. That's what they're going to do. But BlackBerry is great cybersecurity stock, says Imran. I can't really comment on that. It's not one of my cybersecurity stocks. I like Net, obviously CrowdStrike, both incredibly expensive. Net was my favorite. My silver what? John S says my silver out just jumped 22%. What's an out? Saying put? Maybe it's put. Krista M says, thanks, Tom. I enjoy the live streams and the webinars. No worries, Krista. Obviously, you're a member of the community. Appreciate that. Sold off my $9 JDST options just then. Cool. Check TBT, Tom. Why are Treasury bonds going up if rates shouldn't go up? I'll be doing a bond analysis tomorrow. It's a bit boring, the old bonds. I know it's important right now. Usually, I am just basically looking at the 10-year. At this stage, I think the 10-year Treasury yields has been what I've been focusing on. And the main reason is it's showing us kind of how the NASDAQ likes to trade. If the 10-year, we find it go through a resistance, then we know that the NASDAQ's in for some pain train. When the trend year has been in generally a short trend, which it has been recently, we know the NASDAQ is firing on all cylinders. So even with J-Pow's comments yesterday, you can see the 10-year starting to dip again, and that's causing that big strength that we're seeing here in the S&P 500. So that's going through now to 42, 37. It's basically finding that big bullishness in the first 5 minutes of the trade. Keep scrolling through all of our watch list. You'll notice GME, one of the only greens. CLOV up 3% now. Will CLOV, let's have a look at where CLOV is. What's the chitter chat on CLOV? Let me have a look at the chitter chat on CLOV for you. Does it make sense to run again? Clove. Clover Health. Not sure if it's getting that much more interest in it. I'm just having a look at the tickers here. Not really. So you might want to check that throughout the session, because if Clove's up 3.4%, it's coming off basically where it was sitting for some time, even before the big buys here. You can see that big buy volume. It's right on that support that was, it's basically dropped everything. It does make sense for it to try to have another run here. It won't be all the way to the top, though. If it does run, it'll be like this. Yeah. Pumpy dumpy for sure on that one. AAPL is moving. Yeah, everything's going pretty okay. You can see most of our hyper stocks have turned around nicely here, except for the Evil T-Doc. Airbnb now up 1.37%. Square up 0.53%. Apple 0.03%. Still looks strong on the charts. And see, the only stocks that look good on the charts right now are healthcare, biotechnology, and tech. They're the main sectors that look good. You go and have a look at John Deere. Sick. You look at, like, the banks. Ugh. Nothing looks great. You look at these stocks and you think, damn right. Damn right. Beautiful stuff. Oh, yeah, AMD. Come on, baby. We're going up. Shop up again. Big flag here, just dominating. Target really still high. Another $100 away. Target big for the shop. Enphase Energy. Huge move yesterday. Just quickly scroll down and show you guys this one. Let's have a look at the daily. That just dominates that daily out. It's very nice technicals there on Enphase as well. Movement 174, quite potential. So TA looks good. John Moore says, what are hyper stocks? I thought they were meme stocks. No. So there is a differentiation. So basically you've got meme stocks, which is like short seller stocks. Effectively anything that's shorted in the market, people go at. AMC, GME, those types of ones, Clove, etc. Hyper stocks are stocks that are growing at such an incredible pace that they make no fundamental sense. And you have to do all the fundamentals based on P&S. So price to sales. That's all you can do. So a hyper stock is a stock that's growing at like 30% plus year on year. Possibly even 100% year on year, like Snowflake or something. That's what a hyper stock is. Most of these stocks of interest are actually hypers. Hypers or big tech. ARKG, ARKK, both doing well. These are coming through. You can just see it across everything. Like, you look at ARKG, it's come back down. Notice moving averages everywhere. Finding support here makes sense. S&P going straight into resistance as we're watching it. I'm kind of enjoying this morning. It's not bad at all. XLM says ENPH, baby. That's right, man. JC, is GME a hyper meme? No, GME is literally just it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Maybe it's a hyper meme. You could call it a hyper meme. Leonard Lim says NOx to the moon. Yeah. PLTA running. A lot. Look, it's all looking good here this morning, guys. I can't see anything bad. I think the US 500 is getting close to its initial, target. Geez, the markets are fast, though. So it's very close. People will start to take profit around this zone that have got in early. That's just what they'll look at. But, yeah, overall, really nice session. Hopefully it can hold up. Almost everything's green. Even T-Doc's coming back. Airbnb up 2%. That's great. Enphase 1.6. Let's go and click over to the Webull. Let's press on it. So big ones, these are the bigs. PayPal 1.24, Twilio, Airbnb, Square. Just it's good across the board. GME is the super stonk. That's right, super stonk. Who benefits from the meme stocks? Eventually, no one will like if I say this. Eventually, Wall Street will, or at least a hedgie will. At this stage, some retail traders have made some good money. But eventually, who will be left holding the bag? It's going to be some retail traders. And I'd say it's dispersed across lots of little bits of money. The amount of people that I know holding small portions, like let's call it like 10 shares or 5 shares, they don't even care. They just leave them there. They're just like, yeah, stuff for you guys. We're going to get you hedgies. And I think that's been what's so successful about GME and AMC. They're not investing in any of these other ones. They're still holding their positions. They're the ultimate diamond hands because those guys ain't never selling because they don't really care. I mean, they bought them all at cheap and through the cheap. They bought a GME possibly at $420. They're just not selling it because they only have 5 stocks of that or 4 stocks. They just don't care. They did it because they wanted to stick it to Wall Street. Unfortunately, eventually when the apes lose control, which will happen purely, and don't hate on me for this, it's human nature. People get bored with stuff. You know, probably 25% of the people in this room right now, unfortunately, may not be investing heavily in the market in a year's time. I've seen a lot of people start and then they end. You know, I've been around for well over 10 years. Trishan S says, Tom, as soon as you log off, the market sells. Well, I better log off right now because that S&P just hit that level. So that's right. Yeah, when I get off, unfortunately, it does go down. You know, GME is certainly one I'll be watching throughout the session. AMC at 52.68 if you are interested in those. I think it's back to those two, and GME makes the most sense. All of the nasty short sell stocks, I've got to take Netflix out for the time being because it hasn't closed below, so we can't be shorting a stock that hasn't closed below. But yeah, day looks good. Good luck, everyone out there. We've covered a lot in today's session. Join us tomorrow for Friday. It's obviously Disgusting Beer Friday, so I'll go pick one of those up. Put your recommendations in the public Discord, and I'll quickly shill it. Guys, if you want to join the FX Evolution community, probably shouldn't have private messages in there. Let's go over here. All right, there we go. You can join in here, public Discord community, !Discord. Join on in. If you want some free technical analysis cheat sheets, you can do it by clicking the link up above. And of course, if you're a member in the community, like 94 people here online are, plus the others, then you'll get access to all these other sweet rooms where we post glorious setups that, and hopefully a lot of people have done the course, so they post glorious setups and everyone has a great time. So it's a great community here. Thank you so much for being awesome, because you guys are. And I should have got off about 3 minutes ago when that S&P 500 hit up near the high. All right, guys. Catch everybody. Bye for now. Scott Morgan says, online sports betting approved in Ohio. Is that moving DKNG? Up 0.7%. It's a thing, dude. It's a thing. Every one of the states will eventually do it. You know why they'll approve online sports gambling? They need tax monies. They need tax monies.